Welcome to Lecture 6. This is the second part, and this lecture we're going to be talking about circles. My name is Jorge, and this is for college algebra. So the objectives for this particular lesson, there's two of them. We're going to go ahead and write the standard form of the equation of a circle, and then we're going to go ahead and graph a circle, and then of course we're going to go ahead and talk about the general form of the equation of a circle. So what is a circle? Well, a circle is a set of points in the xy plane that have fixed distance r from the fixed point hk. So hk, or r is the radius, and hk is the center of the circle. So here, this visual representation, we can see that hk is the center of the circle. R is the distance from this point to any other point that's on the circle. In this case, we're going to use xy, and that's the radius of a circle. So the standard form of the equation of a circle with the radius r and center hk is given by x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now, if the equation with radius r and has a center at the origin, then the equation is just x squared plus y squared equals r squared. And then that becomes pretty obvious because if h and k are 0, x minus 0 is just x. Now, if the radius is equal to 1 and the circle has a center at the origin, this is what we call the unit circle. And then this has the equation of x squared plus y squared equals 1, and this is what it looks like. So let's go ahead and write the standard form of the equation of the circle that has a radius of 4 and the center at 2, negative 4. So the equation, again, the standard equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we're going to go ahead and substitute the values that were given to us. And here we can see that since r is 4, r squared is 16, h is 2, so it's x minus 2, k is negative 4, so it's going to be y minus negative 4, which is y plus 4. So the equation becomes x minus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 16. So here we have an example. We're going to go ahead and graph the equation, and this is the equation of a circle. And the first thing is we're going to find its component parts. So we got to find what hk and r is. So since the radius is 9, and so 9 is the same thing as 3 squared, then our radius is going to be 3. Since it's x minus h, and we have here x minus 4, then we're able to just separate those. Now you have to be careful when it changes, because then you have to be careful when it changes, such as y plus 1, because then that becomes y minus negative 1. And then so when we separate those completely, we end up with the center at 4, negative 1 with a radius of 3, and this is what that looks like. So we plot the center point, and we find all of the points that are 3 units from that point 4, negative 1, and then that forms a circle for us. So for the circle that we have here, find the intercepts and, if any, of the graph. So here we can clearly see that the intercepts, graphically we can find the intercepts. Algebraically, here, if we make y 0 and solve for x, and that's what we're going to do, so then we end up with x minus 4 squared equals 8. So then x minus 4 is equal to plus or minus square root of 8, which is plus or minus 2 square roots of 2. So then x is equal to 4 plus or minus 2 square roots of 2, and approximately 6.83 or 1.1. And that's what those 2 points look like. So y-intercepts, we can see, looking at the graph, that there are no y-intercepts because it doesn't cross the y-axis. And if we attempt to define them, we'll get no real solutions. So the general form of the equation of the circle is given by x squared plus y squared plus ax plus by plus c equals 0. And so this is what that looks like. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go ahead and graph the equation. But in order to do that, we have to essentially complete the square multiple times here. So we're going to complete the square for the x's, we're going to complete the square for the y's, and then we're going to add both of those values to the right side of the equation. So we're going to do 8 divided by 2 squared, that gives us 16. 4 divided by 2 squared, that gives us 4. So we're going to add 16 and 4 to the 5. If you remember, we moved the 5 over to the right, becomes a positive 5. So now on the right hand side, we end up with 25. And then we're able to easily factor the x's and factor the y's. So we end up with x minus 4 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 25. So in this case, the center is at 4, negative 2 with a radius of 5, and this is a graphical representation of that circle. So remember, there's a standard form, a general form. We have to complete the square for the x's and the y's, and then from there we're able to find the hk and also the radius. So the next thing is we're going to go ahead and graph the equation. The equation is x squared plus y squared equals 4. And so we're going to go ahead and solve for y. So y squared equals 4 minus x squared. And therefore y is equal to plus or minus the square root of 4 minus x squared. And that's what it looks like if we were to use a calculator to graph this. It's just easier to not use a calculator because we have enough information, essentially of any circle, to be able to graph it correctly. And that's the end of lecture 6, Lines and Circles. Thank you.